But with that, in today's stream, let me get positioned correctly here. In today's stream, we will be going over engine rebuilds from engine blocks I already have in my warehouse, of which I have quite a few. And then we'll be moving over to attempting to get vehicles started from the barn finds and possibly the junkyard. Uh, Assuming that goes well and it doesn't hold us over into the end, which has happened in the past, we could go ahead and move into taking orders for the shop. So, with that, let's go ahead and get started. Comes through my head sometimes, like burned into my memory from my childhood, I think. Mario theme song. Original Super Mario Brothers on the NES. Was a great game. Was one of the best until Mario 64 came out. But even before that on the Super NES, you had Mario Brothers there, and that was amazing. The variant on Super NES, that is. Super NES brought so many good games. I mean, from baseball to what else were there? There's the Mario. I'm having trouble recalling it. It was so long ago. But I do recall there being a great deal of good ones. With that, I think we did all three of these engines for the 13 dual overhead cam engine block. But let me see, just to make sure. Yep, we did all of them. So with that, let's see what else we have. We probably have a 14 dual overhead cam. I'm assuming they're referring to 14 valves. Go with the supercharged variant. And let's see. We do not. Alright. Never mind. This is rare. I doubt if we have this. Oh, look at that. We have one. 16B straight 6. We were actually working on one of these in the vehicle I have out front not too long ago when we were rebuilding it. That video actually hasn't been released yet. It'll be released next week. But good one. I quite appreciated it. So we weren't working on it. I was recording it apparently. And next week's stream will also be going over uh, hard mode within Car Mechanic Simulator 2021, which is probably something we will do on a regular basis after next week. I have a speech impediment, so pardon my slurring. It's been a bane to my existence for a long time. Ooh. We don't want an 82 rank, do we? I do not believe so. Piston. Let's get like 16 of them. We'll increase that to 24. Just for future use. as it did seem as though we were getting low. Now, for the rings, these are generally pretty generic, besides specialized engines, which will have different variants of them, as you can see below. So with these, I just like to get a lot of them, because every engine uses pistons, unless you're working with an electric engine, which I currently, I think I do have that DLC, I just don't do it very often. I do remember working with one here and there, maybe, I don't know. Probably not. We got quite a bit we gotta purchase here, given it is 16B. Iron, oil filter. That's gonna be an electronic section for whatever reason. I mean, I suppose it is technically an electronic because it supports electronic devices within it, but can you consider it electronic? Yes, I guess you can. But, I mean, I guess it technically would be. Since they're generic rod caps, I'm just gonna get like 20 of them. Again, use them on most engine models, unless it's the specialized engine block. Which generally means it's part of some DLC, so the engine build is far more accurate. To the T. Well, not to the T, because it doesn't include a lot of the sensors and wiring. But I'm hoping the next version of this game, which I'm hoping does get released, will. Because as far as I know, this is the top auto mechanic simulator out there at this time. Unless anybody knows any better ones, please mention it in the chat. I'd be happy to hear about it. But with this, I did go ahead and finish this engine build. And we'll go ahead and move this on into storage. Get started on the next one. That only took, what, about 14 minutes? So, pretty good time. Ooh, 16. Was that the one? Yeah. No. Yeah, it was a 16. Engine block. We went with. And we only had one of them, so we'll go back there. See if we have this extremely rare engine block. No, we do not. We actually checked that last time and I forgot. Oh, let's see about this one. Nope, don't have that either. Kind of curious. I enjoy building the rotary engines because you don't see them too often. And I like to work on new engines, I guess. See if we have a V10 engine block. We do not. We're clearing them out nicely, actually. Oh, let's try the V12. Nice. I have about 2 of those. No V12 crankshaft, no surprise there. Did I say crank or crank? I think I said crank, like a dog. No crankshaft. Crank, crank. Good thing we got those extra pistons the last stream. Or not the last stream, but the last engine rebuild we did. Definitely needed a fair margin of them there. That has been worked on. And unless we have 2 of them that have been worked on, I don't really want to use one that has this. And it'd be mismatched. That's just not symmetrical, I guess. It would bother me. don't know how you guys feel about uneven engine blocks, but it bothers me. Or engine headers, not blocks. Engine blocks can't be uneven unless there's multiple engines. That's a rare occasion. Though they did put multiple engines in a Tiburon back in the day and took it on the track. And quite honestly, it didn't perform much better than it would have with one engine. My guess probably due to the weight. I guess it felt a lot different though, they said. Surprising. Well, not surprisingly enough. Words are hard when you don't get enough sleep. Let's go ahead and put the plugs in there. We'll just use aftermarket. Since we do have another V12 engine block, and might as well get multiple of them, I figure. Probably should have gotten 4 of these camshafts as well. I did not. As you can see, this is a special type of cap, given it is a V12 engine. Pretty much all of the V12 engine blocks have a specialized cap to them. And a few other things that are different from the normal ones, which would be like a V8 or a 4-cylinder. I wouldn't count 3 cylinders in normal because they're not normal. I also wouldn't count inline 6 cylinders in normal. Mainly out of the rarity of the engine would be my equation for that. Is it rare? Then it's not normal. Pretty certain I had more of those caps. I could be wrong. You know? I thought I did. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Because it's a jungle out there. If I may take a line from the theme song of the I mentioned last stream. Don't know about it? Look up Stream Monk on Google. Might even find it free of charge. It is a pretty old television series. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it, but I do enjoy watching it when someone else has it on. The Big Bang Theory, on the other hand, that's a brilliant channel. rails on before we put on fuel rails. This engine comes with any. Not really certain how fuel rails work exactly, to be honest with you. Know how pretty much every other part in an engine works except for that. Can't know everything. We're not AI. And even AI only knows what I would refer to as distribution packs it's given access to. Little programming term. Essentially means databases. Of course, in the programming aspect of it, it would be referring to databases with access to certain functionality and commands that you wouldn't have access to without it. Any Linux users would be familiar with the terminology as well. Linux, you always have to download a new distro for all variants of commands you want to utilize. It's just, I mean, once you get the hang of the installation process on different distributions of the Linux operating system, it's not terrible, but at first it could be annoying. Especially when you're using a variant of the Linux operating system that's not often used. Because then it's difficult to get support on it without downloading the manual. And you have to open the manual and look through it, and that could be a process in and of itself. It's like we're making a new distribution of Linux that runs on the same backbone. So essentially we're making the same version of Linux, but we're making it look and operate differently for no reason at all. Is how most of those distributions come out, I feel. I mean, even Justin Bieber has his own Linux distribution named and created after him. He's like a theme in the entire distro. It's weird. I think they believed that the distro would go mainstream, like Linux would go mainstream, so they were getting ahead of it, but that didn't end up happening, obviously, because it's far more complex than Windows or Mac. Well, definitely Mac. Mac is said to be easier, but I just think they overcomplicate or just change the way things work too often in it. With each update, it seems. Therefore, when you stop utilizing it for a few years and go back, you're like, what is this? As opposed to with Windows, for the most part, before they started to release these newer variants of it, such as Windows 8 and Windows 11, to name a couple of them, it was predominantly the same. I mean, if you hadn't used it for 5 to 10 years, you can go back and like, oh yeah, I know where everything is. But after Windows XP, they started getting crazy with it. They're like, oh, let's just do this. It'll make it easier. Like, no, it'll make it more difficult to edit the advanced settings within that portion of Windows for users that know what they're doing. But no one listens to that, so then you make things like control list all of a sudden. It's like, no, don't do that. Like, make it the same as it was. If somebody doesn't know how to do it or they find it difficult, maybe they should work with it more and learn about it. And then they wouldn't find it difficult. But no, nobody listens to me. Anyways, that's just my nerd nerd rage about Windows OS. You know, I can go on for a long time about it, actually, in depth if need be. Now, CentOS S7 was a good version, but that's probably because I worked with it more back in the day. That's not Windows, that's a Linux distribution, but one that I appreciated. And then you have Red Hat. Who hasn't worked on a Red Hat itself or a variant of it, you know, which is a variant using Red Hat as the backbone for the operating system. I mean, you can go anywhere and find a command list for that, and it'll basically work on any variant of Red Hat. Then you get into the hybrid versions of Linux, which are based on multiple versions of Linux distros in the past, and then it starts to get a little more difficult. But I find with the difficulty, it does become more compatible to manipulation, easier than the other ones would. As you make things easier, as I mentioned earlier with the Mac OSs, it tends to make it more difficult to manipulate the higher level command structure within the operating system. And that is irritating. If you can't tell, I worked in IT for quite some time, years in fact, in the support team. They say it's one of the top 10 worst jobs in the nation. It was a lot better than other jobs I've worked, I'll tell you that. I guess you could say one of the top 10 worst IT jobs, because in other IT jobs, such as in the command center, for instance, which I did for a short period of time, you sit there most of the time and don't do anything unless you get a call from one of the centers or departments, depending on how large the corporation or company is you're working with, and they tell you, we need you to check out this portion of the server. Then you're like, oh no. You got to get all the information. What server blade would that, well, what server would that be on? Then what blade within the server would that be on? What designation would that section of the blade be? What's wrong with it? What information do we need to resolve said problem? It gets complicated. Those are the days that you have to work for an hour or two, and you don't want to. You don't. But you do it. Because you're being paid a lot of money to do it, you know. Honestly, it's kind of elementary in comparison to other aspects of IT, such as the troubleshooting aspect, which it's not straightforward. I mean, primarily learn it by experience. And oftentimes the error messages that are thrown by the operating system for certain problems are not the actual problem. Knowing the architecture of the system helps as well. Like, this is the error, but not the actual problem. This is the great part of AI, is because you can discuss with AI like you would discuss with a normal human being, and it will be able to pull up information a lot faster than you would if you were just the average Joe who didn't understand how certain architecture works. So It's great for that, and for taking over the world eventually. You know, just throw that one in there. Give it time. Give it time. Look at this. We have all V8 engine locks. Yeah, V12s. There we go. Skipped right over them because there's only 3 of them, apparently. So let's get started on this style. And that'll be the last one we actually have. So after this, we'll probably go back to a V8, which come in the shop far more often these days. Usually these. Ooh, not that. Just in case we need it in the future. just for future reference, anybody that might be watching this stream in the future or currently, if you do send me a message, I see them on a delay, given I'm utilizing software instead of the on-site system that could be used to stream. I mean, technically, I believe you would require some kind of software to stream, but I think I could be wrong on that. But the software I'm using runs on delay. Two of those just in case. I think you require two of them? Yeah. On this engine. Yeah, might as well for future use. Don't know how I got in my list. Alright, let's go ahead and get this took off here, and we'll put it into the warehouse. And with that, I have about 8 minutes left in the hour, so I'm just going to go ahead and see about some scrap parts I need to go ahead and get scrapped. And let's confirm I'm not able to repair anything before we do that. I'm not, so we'll go ahead and get those scrapped, and then we can get started on seeing if we'll be able to get these vehicles started from the barn or the junkyard. Now, with the scrap, I do like to play a little game on my channel where essentially I count how many parts in a row I could scrap and see if I could beat my record. Right now, last time I remember, my record was 18 in a row. So with that, let's get started. One, six, we beat the record, 19. See if we can get higher. Alright, so we did go ahead and set a new record there, reaching 19 scraps in a row. Now with that, let's go ahead and see. What am I doing? We're not taking orders yet. Let's just go ahead and get over to the barn, see what kind of vehicles we might be able to find, see if we can get those started. Alright, so we got what appears to be a Kudo, but is referred to as the Tempest Magnum in this game. Kudo. What condition really does. But let's see. Missing an exhaust manifold. That end. Some exhaust pipes here. Fuel pump. Air filter. Brake booster. Radiator. I could still get started. Let's see what else we have here. I've got the header cover missing, which automatically means we're missing some arms and or push rods. Fuse box lid missing, which generally means we're missing a fuse here and there. We're missing an exhaust manifold as well as multiple exhaust pipes. Fuel pump. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, that'd be some work there. Oh, this one looks kind of cool. What is this? A Mayan M8. 584 horses in it. What are we missing here? Fuse box cap. Both exhaust manifolds. Also the pipes. A starter. Fuel pump. We got the radiator. Windshield wiper reservoir is missing. So is the ABS pump. Some exhaust pipes. I want to say an upper suspension arm. I could just not have them in the front. Let's go ahead and check this out. I kind of like this vehicle. So buying commission of 5% is 2,487 credits. Estimated car value at 48,594 credits. For a buy price of 52,243 credits. Ugh. I do not believe that would ever be worth that much in that condition. So I'm going to say never mind on that. Let's see what the buy price is here. These are way too high. Yeah, somebody must have hacked my stuff again. Obviously, everybody could see they hacked it now. There's no barn finds are gonna charge that much. It's insane. It's like paying retail prices for a vehicle. I mean, this is more reasonable, but even this is too much. I'm gonna try and go to a different barn and see if that corrects itself. Because that's not happening. So we could all see on recorded video here that that's a problem. Might be something I go back and submit to the manufacturers of the game. Have them review it, see what's going on there. Seems like some files might have been manipulated heavily to the point I have to check the game for integrity. Always fun. But yeah, that doesn't normally happen. Normally, the price of the vehicle is never over 25,000 in a barn, ever in this game. Unless it's a supercar, and then it could be worth like 25 to 50. Now, let's see what this is. That seems more reasonable. At 14,446 credits for the buy price, commission of 687 credits, and 10,937 credits for the estimated car value. Oh, that's a Reno Beacon Call 2007. I'll go ahead and look into what parts it's missing first. Well, we have an exhaust manifold for a change. Oh, we are missing a throttle. Obviously, about 3 tires. Caliber. Rotor. Oh no, we got all that there. Missing a caliber and a brake pad in the front, or the back, it looks like. Not the front. Fuel pump in the back. ABS pump in the front. The lid to a fuse box. Probably some fans on the radiator. Windshield wiper fluid reservoir. The cap on the air intake. Missing quite a few parts, but it's a small car, shouldn't be too difficult to get put together. We'll go ahead and purchase that. This Delray Winchester. I'm not sure if I have one of these. 291 horsepower. It's like buying commission of 734 caps, or caps credits. Thinking about Fallout here. The game Fallout New Vegas in particular. Estimated car value to upgrade at 17,538. Buy price at 15,419 credits. Looks like we're missing a header cap, fuel or fuse box cap, radiator, obviously the radiator fans, air intake compartment entirely, exhaust manifold, some pipes, fuel pump. Oof. She's looking rough. But for the price, why not? Not to mention, I'm not sure if I have one of these, so I'll probably be keeping it. I'll just put it away to storage for a rebuild video in the future if I don't. More than likely. And you guys will get to see another rebuild. Salem Spectra Fastback, 305 horses. Who doesn't have one of these? That's pretty common, so I think I'm just going to skip on that and go ahead and return to the garage. And let's see about this vehicle, see if I have it in my parking already. So that was a Delray Winchester. Is that not in any DLC? Let's see. Delray do not have one, so we'll go ahead and put that into my parking garage for a later rebuild. Reno Bianco, whatever that says. Oh, we got the body at 69%, frame at 83%, parts at 25%, and interior at 76%. So that, let's just go ahead and start by getting it moved over into the car wash. At the car wash, yeah. Body looks great, so does the, well, so does the front headlight. The one headlight it still has. That's kind of funny. Well, shouldn't say headlight, it's technically the headlight assembly. But let's go ahead and take this to the lift and work on getting this put back together. Oof, that engine block scene looks like it has seen better days. Well, let me just try something here. Cam gear is going to need replaced. For sure. Tell you what I'm going to do. I don't think we have any 14 blocks left, but I did go ahead and rebuild a few engines. So I'm going to do something I don't normally do. As this engine block is in such bad condition, we would need to take it out and replace it anyway. I'm just going to put a new block in it that was pre-built. However, want to take it apart here just so you guys can see all that. And quite frankly, so I might be able to repair some of these parts and use them on other builds or repairs in the future. As a lot of these parts are still good, or can be worked on to brought back into their pristine condition. I believe that's good. Let me see. Yeah, that's good. Put that back in there. Don't really need to replace that. I think we have a cover. We do not. Let's go over here. Before we get started on that, I do want to make sure the fuse box is good, which it is good enough. Replace that C bottom lid. Should be good there. Brake servo. windshield wiper, reservoir, radiator fan. Just gonna need a normal one, so that's easy enough. Radiator fan. Normal one being a generic fan. Don't see too many vehicles needing it, but some of the smaller engines. Battery, ECU. Starter. Don't need to put that in. Right? Alright, let's go ahead and get below the engine here. Get the exhaust detached from it, as well as the gearbox, and we should be able to take it out after we get that oil drained. Alright, let's go ahead and drain the oil. Carlet tank. Use that. Go ahead and put that back. And got that. Got that. Go ahead and move that down. We'll pull that engine on out. Carlet A. Pull that. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it on this engine stand over here, so we could tear it apart the rest of the way. Makes it a lot easier. Probably be a lot of scrap parts too. All of these caps will go to scrap. Yep, 13%. That engine block itself will go to scrap. So before we pull out the other engine, let's go ahead and see about repairing these parts for use in this engine, possibly. Some of these parts we won't need for this one, but like I was saying earlier, we could use it in another engine build and or repair. 14 is actually an engine block we do need quite a few parts on. So, kind of worked out. Especially those camshafts. Oh, look at that. We can repair the cabs. Seems like it varies each day. So I got those repaired. Let's and see what engine we could put in here. 14 turbocharged BFM. AQC, if I have it, I'll go with that. Otherwise, I'll go with the BFM. If I don't, we'll go with the turbocharged. Well, that's not real. I don't think. Unless it is. 14 dual cam AQC, but that's rear wheel drive. I'm not sure if that'll fit. If it doesn't, we'll just take this one in case. Put this on over to the lift and install. Yeah, just takes the normal AQ. And there you go, brand new engine, some aftermarket parts in it, looking real good. I still gotta go ahead and purchase those. Alright, so let's go ahead and fill up the fuel on some of these things. We won't put in the... Well, we might as well put in the oil. Not like we're going to need to take it apart and check for any parts that need repaired, right? Engine is silent. Once we get that fuel pump replaced in the back, should be able to start up. Just need to put some tires on it, maybe some brake components, and we'll be good. I'll tell you one thing, if they open up that hood, they're gonna be surprised as shit. Like, seriously? Put a brand new hood with aftermarket, put a brand new engine with aftermarket parts in this frame, and body. Be a little sleeper, for sure. May not steer properly, but it'll go. It's a goer. Car you could drive to town. Called a going to town car. drive shaft, drive axles. Isn't quite a bit, to be honest. I don't know. Just needed to know what one it was. I believe we have some of those in stock we could build on. Absorber I guess we're gonna need one of them. If we're gonna get one, we might as well get 6, right? They're always coming up. 4 installation. Need 2 of those end links. And 2 of the axles. That is a special type of little axle, which I don't see too often. Those parts here. We'll go and replace both of those while we're at it. We're gonna replace one, might as well replace both of those. Help it drive more smoothly entirely, since we've already replaced the front. This one we can use for scrap. Okay, well, definitely don't need 4 of them, but we will need 3 of them. Standard tire, 1745 205. 405. Well, not 405, that's for sure. 1745 205. 45 205 on 3. Oh, duh. Might help if we had rims. Pretty certain they are the same size if those tires were correct. Just wanted to make sure. That'd be about 3 of them. Let me see them. See if I have them in storage here. That was from Classic 617. Rim Classic 6. Have the 6, just not 17 inches, so we'll have to go ahead and purchase that. Okay, so we'll get 3 of those. That's 17. Go ahead and get those installed. I don't think I've ever had to buy tires yet for vehicles. We were just getting running. I think I kind of managed to avoid those. It'll add to the revenue in the end. So definitely gonna make back money. Perfect. Right. Let me see. Should be good. Should have all the suspension parts in there. Good, good. There we go. Get that exhaust manifold in there. Not really certain why that wasn't already on there. Pretty certain it was when I put it in. That could be a bug, or I probably just forgot to put it on there. Pump and ABS module. And starter. Good. Let's go ahead and make sure all the electronic components are good. start. Vehicle at least. Gonna need a new hood on that. Headlight. Any other body parts missing? Don't see any. This will be the Reno by however you say that. Oh. Just check to see if I have any body parts for it. Does not look like I do. Or, wait. I just think I spelled it wrong. Yeah, we do have that hood after all. And needed a headlight on the left, I believe. Nice. It kind of worked out. Right headlight, left one. Right headlight, we'll go over here. Put that left one back in storage. Put that right headlight in there. Why is that right headlight not going in there? Left headlight is in storage. Theoretically, we should have the right headlight right here, you know. Pick right headlight. What is this? Aftermarket, maybe? No, that looks like, you know, left headlight. Kind of weird. Must be bugged or hacked, as usual. As usual. Alright, let's go ahead and move it on out to the front and see if we can get it started. Starts right up the first time. And with that, we got 77% on the body, 83% on the frame. Parts are at 73%, interior is at 83%. And parts valued at 14,417 credits. Body valued at 6,177 credits. Performance parts valued at 8,800 credits. Condition bonus 1,435 credits. Buy price 14,446 credits. Profit of 16,383 credits for a sell value of 30,829 credits. So we'll go ahead and sell that, make a little profit there, and with that, we got a little bit of time left. Let's go ahead and check out another barn. Oh, looks like a Victoria. Ford Crown Vic. What it appears to be here. It's the 96 Bolt Cape MK7. Looks like 5% commission of 963 credits. Estimated car value to upgrade at 18,162 credits. Buy price of 20,223 credits. Let's see what we're missing here. Looks like we're missing a header cap, no doubt missing quite a few rocker arms, it looks like. Let me see, as well as push rod. Oh no, we just need caps on that. And rocker arms, possibly, depending on what engine this is. Let me see what the condition is. Pretty good. Air intake doesn't look bad. One cap needs replaced. Base of the fuse box is working at least. We need an ABS pump, or not ABS, but fuel pump. Some exhaust pipes. Let's get over here. Need a starter, I think. And we should be good to go. So we'll go ahead and buy that. Price is, you know, a little bit more than I would like, but should get it all back and some. What is this? Seco LX550. About 762 horsepower in it. And the V8 dual overhead cam supercharged. Could fit a Coyote or a Boss engine in it. That's kind of cool. Let's see what it's missing. It does seem to be missing a fuse box cap, ABS pump, some exhaust pipes, fuel pump, starter. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and purchase that. Looks like we got a buying commission of 5% at 1,402 credits. Estimated car value to upgrade at 27,800 credits. Buy price of 29,442 credits. So we'll go ahead and purchase that and move that over to the garage. Go ahead and return to the garage. Go ahead and return to the garage. There we go. Alright, we'll move this over to the car wash. Paint job's looking alright. Get them all vacuumed out. And we will move it to the car lift. Got it up on the lift. Let's go ahead and see. That engine block is also looking pretty terrible. Definitely gonna need replaced. We got the body at 72%, the frame at 85%, parts at 28%, interior at 97%. So with that, let's go ahead and take off this exhaust manifold. Take them both off. And we'll vehicle. See about getting that gearbox. Perfect. So move this over to the vehicle and drain that oil, which doesn't look like it's going to be necessary because there is no oil cut. And with that, we'll put the vehicle back down here, but before we do that, let me make sure we get that. Sometimes it raises a fuss about the exhaust pipe there not being on. We'll move that on over and pull that vehicle. That will move that over and get that on the lift. We'll go ahead and start tearing that engine down. See what parts we might be able to repair and see what engines we have available to replace this with in our warehouse. Let's pop in a new one. And after that, I'm probably going to take a short 10 to 15 minute break before I'll be able to get back with you guys. Turns out the engine block didn't need replaced after all. It was about 3% off of it, but did not need replaced. So, not a big deal though. Have another one in there. Not too worried about it. But let's see what parts we can go ahead and repair on that. Quite a few of them at 4 pages. Alright, so got those repaired. Let's see what engines we could put in here. Supercharged, Boss, Coyote, CGM, Dual overcam, AXK, and FME. Quite a few of them actually. Let's see what we have in storage. That one might fit. That one would fit, but I'd rather not use it. I'll just bring it just in case this one does not. And that one in case. And why not bring that along too? We'll see what one works. Which one we'd rather put in there. Coyote, CG. Alright. Oh, you can see we have a new engine there with a few aftermarket parts. Again, probably be surprising. Body doesn't look bad on this vehicle, and the interior doesn't look too bad either, so maybe not too surprising. But it is a nice surprise to have. Let's go ahead and move those back in there. And we'll get started working on the engine compartment parts. Let's lift that up here before we get those fluids put in and get these exhaust pipes installed. See if we have another muffler. We do. And exhaust pipe. We do. suspension arm. Outer tie rod. Caliper. Wheel hub pin. And looks like we're replacing some tires as well. Go ahead and buy a new starter here. Put in that bushing on there. That one on there as well. And another one. Here we might as well replace that. It definitely needs it. Make sure we have all of our rear suspension parts together, which looks are good. Those look good. Oh, let's go here and start by getting that tire. That sport tire at 1750, 255. 1750, 255. And that Rim Classic 17. Rim Classic 317. Let's see if we have any of those in the warehouse. 3. We do not have any 3s. We'll have to go and purchase that. 17. Might help if we put the tire on the rim there. Alright, let's go ahead and get the fluid in there. housing fan. I do see we did have a new viewer join. Would like to welcome you to the channel. Right now we're just trying to get this vehicle repaired up enough so we can get it started and go ahead and get it out of the shop. Let's get back here. That there. And with that, let's go ahead and make sure all the electronic parts are working alright with the multimeter. No bad fuses or anything. A lot of fuses close to being bad. Everything checks out there. I do believe we're missing one cap on this, or clip, so we'll add that. Let me see what condition that's in. Oh, it's doable. That's like 19, so still doable. Go ahead and get this moved on out front, and we'll see if we can get it started. Started up on the first try. Oh, let's see about getting this sold here. You see we have 72% on the body, the frame's at 85, parts at 73, and interior at 97, bringing the parts value to 29,517 credits, body value of 9,405 credits, performance parts value of 10,410 credits, addition bonus 0, buy price of 20,223 credits, sell price of 49,332 credits, bringing the profit to 29,109 credits. So we'll go ahead and get that sold. Made a little profit on that one. And with that, I'm just going to step away for about 5 to 10 minutes here, take a short break, and I'll be right back with you. However, in the meantime, let's go ahead and turn on some music for you guys and step outside for a smoke break. Alright, I am back, and alright, I am back, and with that, let's see about getting this started. Taking 1 or 2 orders here, so we'll just start with a car wash. At the car wash, yeah. And go ahead and detour. Alright, so let's go ahead and take it over to the left. And so you can see we got 77% on the body, 72% on the frame, 30% on the parts, and 82% on the interior. Unlike the other 2 vehicles, this engine block looks alright. So, we shouldn't have to replace that. But, let's check out the container of this fuse box. That looks good. So we'll go ahead and replace that lid there. Let me see. Also gonna need one of these. Do not believe I have one of those, so we'll just add that to the list. Add that to the list. And luckily I have quite a few of these. And a battery. Steering reservoir. Windshield wiping reservoir. Coolant reservoir. Housing. Gonna need that. And move into here. Start with that lid. Looks like we're gonna need a exhaust manifold. Get that fuel rail in there. And did I not add that to the list? Oh, let's see what kind of fan we need. What are both B's? Yeah. Alright, so radiator. And 1 and 2. Also gonna need an ABS module. And another manifold. Don't usually see both of them missing. We do have the fuel pump though. Don't usually see that either. Well, let's get those, well, matter of fact, let's hold off on the fluids for a bit. Even though those parts look solid, might need to replace the timing. In order to do that, we would need to take off all those parts, which would require me to drain the coolant fluid. Yeah, so also the steering fluid possibly. So, let's go ahead and get this lifted up. I do not believe I have any more of those, so we'll need to buy 2 of those. Might have this though. No. Gonna need 1 of those as well. 2 mufflers. And there you go. There you go. And there you go. That should be good. Let's go ahead and bring that vehicle down here. And we will start filling up those fluids. Starting with the windshield wiping fluid, we'll move to oil. Once we get that oil filled up, we'll fill up the coolant and just run a quick compression test. Make sure everything within the engine is good enough to start and go from there. We'll need a crankshaft, piston. Yeah, so a crankshaft and a piston. Both of those parts requiring us to take apart a lot of the engine. So thankfully we didn't fill up the steering fluid. And the coolant, we could just go ahead and drain real quick. I think a lot of those spark plugs need replaced anyway. let's go ahead and get that vehicle lifted up here. And let's check the gearbox out real quick. Clutch and the clutch bearings seem alright, so we're gonna hope the flywheel is as well. I'll also go ahead and replace that fuel filter. This one. It's the one we need to replace. Alright, there we are. Let's just get a normal one. Don't want to put in mismatched pistons, no. Might as well put the engine heads back on. And get this vehicle on up on the left. Oh, yeah, that. we'll just replace those. Those other ones are pretty bad off. And we might be able to repair them anyway. I'll give him one free header there. Alright, so let's go ahead and get the fluid in here. cap on there. And let's get that fuel pump installed. And check on the rear suspension parts. And the front suspension. Oh, that seems like it's installed at least. Check on that radiator's condition. And I can let it. Alright. Well, in that case, let's make sure all the electronics are doing alright, and particularly the fuses. We got a medium fuse type B. Take that out. And go ahead and put that new fuse in. And there we go. So put that lid back on. And we'll get this moved out front. See if we can get it started. Started up the first time. Oh, should be good to sell it off here. We have a parts value of 25,409 credits, body value of 10,657 credits, performance parts value 0 credits, condition bonus 2,085 credits, buy price of 29,442 credits, for a sell price of 38,151 credits, for a total profit of 8,709 credits. Not too much, but get that sold for a little bit of a profit. And at this point, we have enough time to take about 2 to 3 orders here. So let's just get started here with this one. And let's see what else we have here. That one. We'll go ahead and move these over to the lift. And start with this one. Let's see what we have here. Look at that, 85 horsepower. Tiny engine. Looks like braking problems. See, we have the brake pump and the brake module are both good. So chances are it's just some pads and maybe a caliper here and there, maybe a rotor. Just small issues probably in the front. As I imagine it is a front wheel drive, but those parts look good. This will need a new caliper. back on. Check the rear wheel wells for any problems there. Looks like we will need a new caliper on this one as well. And new brake pad here. Here. I don't believe that was the right caliber. I think the cylinder was probably correct, but not the caliber. There we go. With that, we'll bring it on down off the lift here. And got all those repaired, so got the pour brake performance at 190 credits, task bonus of 23 credits, job bonus of 47 credits for a total payout of 260 credits. We'll go ahead and finish that. Down on out of here. And see what's wrong here. Repair all gearbox faults. First of all, let's check in the front here. That looks good. Gearbox itself looks good. Let's go ahead and lift up the vehicle. And we'll check this out here. Clutch and a clutch release bearing. More than likely it's also going to need to get the flywheel replaced if those are bad. Clean the entire clutch assembly. Alright, let's go ahead and bring this on down. And we'll get that starter replaced. Well, not replaced, but removed so we could remove the gearbox. Pressure plate. Clutch looks alright. Flywheel needs replaced. Get that drive shaft in there. So we've completed that. The repair of all gearbox faults is at 623 credits. Task bonus of 218 credits. Job bonus of 436 credits. For a total payout of 1,277 credits. So we'll go ahead and finish that once we do put in the starter. And get it on out of here. So with that, let's go ahead and see about another one here. Got quite a bit to do on here. I think that should keep us busy for the rest of the stream here. Let's see what's going on. We gotta replace oil and filter, place timing parts, place timing belt. Obviously, kind of goes with the parts. All running gear faults, brake system needs, and loud exhaust. So let's just go ahead and start with the brakes. ABS pump and module are good, so is the brake servo. So we'll go ahead and get it lifted up here and check on the other parts. Let's see, 57% is the base. I might need a new rotor here, but let's see. Yeah, we'll need to replace the rotor as well as this wheel hub. Alright, it looks like we're gonna have to replace these brake, well, this brake pad at least. Go ahead and order that one here, along with a few more for the future. Need to replace this brake rotor as well. Guessing this next one will probably be good. Everything's looking good on that one. And brake parts resolved. Let's check out the exhaust. Looks like the rear muffler needs replaced. Go ahead and order that. muffler. Ordered. Let's go ahead and replace that shock. Or at least part of it. Double wishbone. Yeah, just the shock absorber should be fine. And the other double wishbone apparently just decided to disappear. This is another instance I would point to a hacker. Just a constant annoyance. Oh no, that would be the shock absorber. That's my bad. That's legit. That's my problem. Yep, that's on me. Oh, we'll replace that. Get that tire on there. That means we got the brakes, the loud exhaust, as well as both of the running gear problems. Now we gotta replace those timing and the oil. So while we're down here, let's go ahead and get that filter replaced real quick. And we'll get that oil drained out. Go ahead and put the vehicle back down. And we'll get started replacing these timing components. All right. Before we do take that off, we will want to drain the coolant. Then we can go ahead and remove that. And the brake, or belt tensor, followed by the water pump, and everything else in the front. Get to the timing parts. Alright, so we can replace that and that. The gears themselves look alright, so we shouldn't have to replace those. Just the belts themselves. And start putting that all back on. No, don't want to use that one. I'll use one of them it actually came with there. Alright. Get that oil in here, and then we should be able to try and start it up. Start it on the first try, of course, and get it on back on the road. So we'll go ahead and move this out to the entry point and see about getting it started. Alright, got it started there on the first try. And with that, finalized all the tasks required. Replace engine oil and filter, 25 credits. Replace timing related parts at 490 credits. Vehicle cannot be started at 160 credits. Repair all Running gear faults at 220 credits. Brake system needs fixing at 210 credits. Loud exhaust at 300 credits. Task bonus of 1,279 credits for a job bonus of 658 credits. Total payout of 3,342 credits. So go ahead and finish that on up. And with that, and this stream, we did go ahead and get, what was that, roughly 5 orders taken care of. We got about, I want to say 3 to 4 cars started from the barns. And we even scrapped a few parts, reached a new record of 19 parts scrapped for successful scrap. And got the bonuses on those, of course. We didn't do the automated option, so we did get the bonuses. We rebuilt a few engines, so I'd say it was very successful stream. And with that, I would like to thank you for joining me for today's stream. You could join me again every Friday at 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. and on Twitch every Monday and Tuesday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. If you enjoyed watching this content, please feel free to like, and if you would like to see more of this content, please feel free to subscribe to be updated on all my new video releases for my channel. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.